The first place that I stayed was in Harlem. And in Harlem, it's 125th. It's only black people. It's the only thing is they're speaking English. But when you get on the Harlem Street, 125th down, Morningside, wherever, it feels like you're somewhere in Africa, like markets. Everybody's yelling at each other. It feels like Africa. So I always felt like I'm somewhere, maybe in Kenya or Tanzania. So I didn't feel so homesick. And you know how people are like, oh, it's so exciting. You go to it, it's so exciting. I don't get excited. No, I get excited until I'm there. So I didn't get excited until I go to Fire Island. And I've never seen a trans person. I'd never seen even cross-dressers, even drag queens. I'd never. Well, we had our fake drag queens back home. But of course, they also don't know what they're doing. Well, even when they don't know what they're doing, they'll just come on with wigs, just little boys, put some clothing in their boobs. But I'd never seen a real one until I go to Fire Island. By then, I was typically like on the age. I didn't have any money. I remember one of my professors gave me that money, like to even apply for a visa. Then I applied for it, I got it, and then I'm coming to the airport, I had $20, which was a lot of money. Back home, having $20 is a lot. Still today, like I send my cousin $20, that's like 100,000, and they can do a lot. In 100,000 maybe, can push you for a week, feeding. So that's how much it is. So that's what I came with. Go to Fire Island. Magic, I thought Fire Island is the US. Spent there a whole month. I talked to a friend of mine who is a lawyer, who I'm like, I'm not going back home. So she helped me get a resident, where I stayed for I was supposed to stay there for a week or two as she looks for another place. So I ended up staying in this lady's apartment for like 6 months. Because she had a kid and I would take care of the kid, clean the house. So after 2 weeks, I told her, no, what next? She told me, just stay until you get where to stay. So that is how I stayed around Columbia University and just work. I didn't have a work authorization. I would just collect cans. And yeah, that's how I survived. Staying in this small apartment, helping this lady, also she was helping me, sleep in her place, taking care of her baby. But what else am I doing? I'm doing nothing. So that is how I started drawing, actually painting on small paper, which are now growing into large canvases that I'm doing in the studio. Those actually started off with just creating just people that I see on the train randomly. If I see something is stuck in my head, and then I just draw them. That is how I started just drawing, trans people that, gay boys that look great, and just drawing them. But how do they become IDs? As you grow up, you start like asking a lot of questions. How about if we had passports that had photos that we wanted them to be the way they wanted to be? You know how there is protocol of passport photos or identity cards where you have to look a certain way. You have to look straight. Don't put on a veil. Don't put on red hair. You have to look a certain way. So as an artist, I'm creating IDs that I would imagine in our passport photos. So they're just imaginary identifications, photos or passport photos. I've been always lucky. Even when I came to the US, the first place that I stayed was in Harlem. And in Harlem, it's 125th. It's only black people. It's the only thing is they're speaking English. But when you get on the Harlem Street, 125th down, Morningside, wherever, it feels like you're somewhere in Africa, like markets. Everybody's yelling at each other. it feels like Africa, so I always felt like I'm somewhere, maybe in Kenya or Tanzania, so I didn't feel so homesick. It has also been a journey. Like, well, I used to stammer a lot in my interviews. You know, at times you're not so confident. Well, you're confident, but you feel like, you know, you're not yet there. You know, when there's a certain level when you feel like, now I can do whatever I want to do. But that has taken also a little, it's taken a journey. Imagining when I came here, I had no job, collecting cans on the street, seeing less art, I'm not creating any art. And I remember what kind of started building my now confidence in art is I remember my gallerist, Sam and Jacob, telling me, oh, you should now stop collecting cans, because I remember we had started selling some pieces of art like in 2016, 2017. Now we're selling a little bit. And I'm street smart. I would go to, guess where I was collecting my cans from? Like I would go to rich areas, like where there are rich people, because the cans are clean and they drink a lot of water, you know, so there's tons of clean cans up there, so that's where I would go collect my cans. And then they're like, just imagine if a collector found you carrying a bag of cans, and then the next day you show up at the gallery and then we're selling your work. So that kind of sucked me in. I'm like, okay. So I stopped collecting cans, started doing Uber. That one was a little bit, okay, you be on the bike, and then in the evening I go to the studio. And now, you know, I'm okay. I have some rent on me. I have some. So now you're getting comfortable in the way of living. I think that is what kind of got me. And now we're selling. And then, yes, there's some money on your account. So that kind of also makes you confident. You can put on the way you want to put on. You can now eat where you want to eat. So that kind of also builds a confidence as an artist. And I think that has also helped me a lot. And meeting a lot of people. I meet a lot of people. I always tell people these are like babies. Well, you've not seen my big works. I don't know if you have. I've done 8 feet ceramics, just all one huge head. So looking forward to getting to bronze, but I want, you know, have like, I don't know if you've been to the Brooklyn Museum. There is a piece that I always give an example. It's a very huge piece, like where people look like kids, like tiny, tiny insects when you're around it. So if I can get that much, I want to stretch that much. If it can happen, that is what I always say, like, just sketch. To people, what people think is impossible, everything can be possible. If you give an artist maybe in school and you feel like this is what you want to do, and then you give up, who's going to see your art? One, you have to keep working, just don't stop, you never know, somebody will find you. The other thing is just believe in yourself. And there is something that the colleagues that I work with now have picked up from me. I don't have enough for an answer. They don't say no to me. They don't say this won't happen, no. No, we have to figure out something. You have to have a yes always. No, no. I don't believe in no's. I'm always positive no matter what. I think that's it.